Good morning, everyone. I'll go ahead and get started here. Welcome again to our weekly product update webinar for Engage121. As usual, I'm Ryan Hayes, joined by Jenny McDonald, and our phone lines will be closed for during the course of this webinar. So if you do have questions about what you see on the screen, need clarification on anything, please do use the questions functionality, which is built into the GoToWebinar software. Jenny will be monitoring that and be able to respond as we go through the webinar. Any questions about actual implementation for your own organization, by all means, can reach out to your client service team after this webinar, and they'll help you get things set up directly. Today we've got a handful of little tweaks, particular product requests from clients that we've implemented over the course of the past week. We'll run through those, and then a new option we've been providing for accounts that have multiple teams and people who need to work between those multiple teams. So we'll run through those things. Should be a fairly quick one today. So starting in the application, I'm going to start on a new option in the projects portion of Planner. So in Planner, when I click on Manage, we've done webinars on this in the past on how the projects functionality works. But as our clients begin to start using it and implementing the projects management for their own campaigns within their own organizations, we've been getting a continual feed of requests and nice-to-haves that we've been implementing. So one of the ones that we just recently implemented is an option for email alerts to be sent on any project activity. So I've selected a project from the drop-down, and now when I click to edit the project, you'll see one of the options I have here is for monitoring the project. So I have in the drop-down, I have a checkbox for everyone who's on my account, in this case on my Java 1-to-1 account, and I can check the boxes for all of the different people that I would like to have monitor this particular project. And in this case, anytime that there's new activity on the project, someone adds a note to it, or if a task is completed or a new task is created, I'll get an email alert that alerts me to that fact, or whoever else I assign to monitor it will get email alerts to let them know that something's happened. So a while back, a couple weeks back, we added an activity history onto projects. So all the sorts of things that you see here about a test note and a task created and task updated and all of that, these are all the sorts of things that would initiate an email if I am monitoring the project. So I get an email alerting me to the fact that something has occurred on it. If there's something I need to act on, I'm able to do that there. We do still have the existing functionality back in the alert section for when a task is assigned to you. So if we look at Planner, there's task update and new tasks. So for example, I can get an email anytime that someone assigns a task to me, and then I can get an email whenever there's new activity on a task that is either assigned to me or that I assign to somebody else. So just another way to kind of slice and dice the sort of notifications that you can get in relation to projects and tasks that are being scheduled and occurring within the Engage 1-to-1 application. So if you do have team members that need to be involved in your projects but that aren't using Engage 1-to-1 on a daily basis, not always logged in, this is an easy way for them to stay up to date on what's going on those projects. The next one that I'm going to run through is a notification that we've added when a task has been assigned. for something that's in your listen feed. So this again was a client request, particularly for example, dealing with the mentions tab. So if I've got posts in here that I need to make sure that we respond to every mention or every post that comes into our listen feed that mentions XYZ keyword or what have you. When I have that feed coming in, we've always had the ability to show when someone replied to it. So we show a little avatar here saying who replied to it. In this case, it's just a generic name, Java 121 Corporate. And if I click on it, I can see what the response was. So we can see specifically how that incoming post was handled. Additionally, we've now added the ability to, when you assign a task to somebody, also see an avatar that it has been assigned to someone. So again, if I'm the person who is reviewing our whole mentions feed and making sure that someone is acting on everything that comes in, and maybe I'm part of a team and we kind of swap out throughout the day who's monitoring that feed and assigning tasks. This way, it's easy for me to see that that the task has been assigned. Someone has been assigned to manage that, and when it's actually responded to, I'll also see the response that was sent out, so I can know that that's being handled and there's nothing that I need to deal with in relation to that. Now, as always, if you don't need to assign a task, there's not a response that's actually needed. You can also use that mark as read checkbox to notify that you've monitored that or you've reviewed it and there's no further action needed. But in particular, being able to assign tasks to yourselves and to your team members is a very helpful part of that, and seeing that that task has been assigned and that no further action is currently needed obviously helps the workflow. So that's been implemented for everyone. Again, another client request that we were happy to implement for all of our accounts. Next thing I'd like to run through is some new Facebook tab management. So I'm going to start actually back in the account section, and then I'm going to go to profile. As you likely already know, under preferences we have the management for page tabs. So if I choose a page, I'll see all the different tabs that are installed there. I can change the tab name. I can change the icon for the tab. I can manage how I want that to actually appear on Facebook. Now, additionally, what we've added is a button to delete that tab. So if I'm not using it anymore and I don't want it to appear on my page anymore, I can delete it here. Again, we do have some clients that don't allow their users to have native access to Facebook or Twitter. So providing the tools here in Engage to manage those things without having to leave the Engage application is a tremendous goal for us. So we've added it here, and then we've also added it in the library. So now, if I go to library and I choose Fanlets, and then I'll choose my page, and then I'm going to choose the page, a tab that doesn't have anything installed on it. This one here, for example. Once I've removed all the Fanlets that are installed on that tab, we're going to prompt you again to say there's nothing installed on this right now. So we recommend that you remove the tab, because otherwise, and I'll hop over to Facebook and we can take a look at what an empty tab would look like. There's nothing for us to display, so we don't have anything installed on that tab. So until you may be just about ready to install something new, and that's perfectly fine. Obviously, you can leave that tab on the page and come back and use it again. But we do want to give you an easy way to get rid of a tab once you've removed all the Fanlets that were previously installed on it. So that, again, has been added in for all of our accounts. So both in the library and then in profile preferences where our existing tab management functionality is. Then the last thing I'd like to go over is a new use for a dashboard view that we previously used, that we previously reserved for agency accounts. What we've been doing, and for some recent clients that have particular team organizations. So if you're familiar already with how our team structure works, the way we define a team is we put multiple users, multiple individuals on a team, and that team then shares all the same listen feeds. They share all the same social media connections, the same evaluate charts. It's really designed so that you can have different people who are managing the exact same thing and have them see it in exactly the same way, so that there isn't confusion over, did someone deal with this? Has someone responded to this post? And what are my other colleagues monitoring? By grouping things together into a team like that, there's very clear definition of what everyone's using and how they're interacting. So I can stay on top of what my colleagues have done and make sure that we're not overlapping and duplicating efforts. However, what we've found is that the way many of our clients are kind of organizing their social media outreach, they're having different teams for different brands, for example, or different teams for different segments of the brand, and they want to still have those teams set up in a way that they have so that they're using the same social media connections and that sort of thing. But then they also have people that kind of float between different teams. Maybe it's a social media manager who needs to be able to do specific reports or configure reports for those different teams, or needs to be able to go in and manage new Explorer searches or new listen filters. Maybe they play more of an administrator role, and they need just to be able to log in and help those team users configure things. So what you're looking at now is what was previously used as an agency dashboard. So this dashboard would be for an agency account, like a digital agency who's managing social media outreach for a variety of clients. In this case, we have Dave's Sports Shop and Kate's Flowers and Kurt's Computers and Phil's Electronics and Rick's Rolls. Just some demo examples there. So in this case, this agency user, Allison, is able to click into each one of those accounts, and it's just as if she was logging in as someone on that account, as a normal user of that account. But she's able to switch between different clients, particularly for agency accounts where they're managing a number of different clients. They obviously you don't want to have those social connections all in the same place. You don't want to have them somewhere where you can accidentally click on the wrong one, for example, where you can accidentally post something for an automotive client to a real retail client's account. So dividing those out into the different clients is the obvious solution there. But we found that same sort of division can be very helpful within just a regular enterprise organization. So having the different teams and being able to switch between teams, just like in this case switching between clients, is something that we've been implementing for a number of clients recently. So it's something that I wanted to make sure that our clients were aware of as an option. So this user could have instead of having clients here, the first one could be their admin login, where they have all their permissions to configure everything. The second one could be their brand A or product A team login, and their product B team login, and so on. So they're able to serve those, to just put on different hats and switch roles. So it's really that sort of role management and interacting with the different teams, but still having one login that's easy for them to remember and easy to be able to switch back and forth between those teams. So at any rate, that's the last thing that I'd like to show you all today. I will let you know that though I don't have anything to show you at the moment, we will be launching likely later this afternoon, if not certainly Monday morning. We will be launching the ability to move content and posts and items between libraries. So as you have posts that are no longer relevant or content that's no longer relevant, but you still want to keep it in the application, you'll be able to move that off into an archive folder, for example, or move it into the new version of the library. So that will be going in very shortly. Again, driven by client requests, and we're again happy to implement that for all of our clients. But I'd like to thank you all again for joining me again for this our weekly product update. As always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Jenny either through email, on Twitter at Engage121, or on our Facebook page, Engage121. And obviously, if you have questions about how any of the features or functionality that you've seen today can work or affect your particular account, I do suggest that you contact your client service rep and talk to them about how to implement those things for your own account. Thank you all again for joining us. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.